Boom, we're now live and recording. Hey everybody, this is Teddy Burris, and this is the Teddy Burris and Randy Wooden Lunch Conversations. Randy Wooden felt the need or the desire or the interest to go do something a little bit different, so he's not here. So I threatened him and went and hired a pinch hitter. So my pinch hitter that's with me today is Mr. Greg Jones. Greg, introduce yourself to the group quickly.
Hello, everyone out there. My name is Greg. My background is in training, organizational development, and leadership training, and I'm happy to be a part of the panel today.
Cool. When I met Greg years ago, won't tell you about the story about the bar that we were hanging out in. Probably not a bar, but anyway, Greg and I we probably talk at least once a week, and it makes sense for me to invite him, and I'm glad he's decided to join us. So let's see. All right, so yeah, use the chat box to chat and share any question relevant to the conversation, any thought relevant to the conversation. Ruth, you're absolutely right. Yes, there are, in fact, right now, 32,000 people divided by 1,000 on this virtual meeting. So yeah, it actually is 33,000 people divided by 1,000 on this virtual meeting. So anyway, Randy's out. And again, we do this every Wednesday from noon to 1 o'clock. It's a 1-hour event. Randy and I committed to doing this for 10 sessions. We're almost past the 10 sessions, and we are in conversations about how to extend it longer. And our point is, we want to keep bothering people. No, we want to keep bringing great conversations and ideas. So remember, if you have a thought, if you have an idea, if you have a speaker, if you have a topic, if you have a question, don't hesitate to hit up Randy or me. If you can't find us, then we're pretty pathetic. You can find us on LinkedIn and other social media. You can send me an email. Let me know what conversations or content or thoughts you're looking for so we can bring it to you, because that's our purpose, is to bring you these ideas. All right, so today, Mr. Michael Glontz. Let me tell you a little bit about this guy, because oh my golly. So Michael and I met back, I don't know if he remembers this, back in 2011. Okay, he had a little bit more hair on the front side of his head, and I did too. And but anyway, Michael works for Forsyth Tech. He's been there 16 years, coming up on 16 years, and that's pretty wild. That's pretty impressive. It's a great organization. Michael's been doing educational and career advising for 10 years, and he really loves to help people do this. He loves to help people figure out who they are and what direction to go to for their own future. He works out of the Bolton campus on Bolton Street. His role is a coordinator of advising and recruitment. He's in the economic and workforce development division, in which I've done a lot of work with that group as well, and that's pretty much how we met. Yeah, Michael's a Wake Forest University grad, and I'm being a little facetious as I'm a Terp, and Michael's been a good friend, a good resource to work with, and when we talked, it made sense for him to come to the conversation. So Michael, say hello and share what I didn't share about who you are as a person.
Well, you know, I have a passion for helping people. You know, when I'm out in the community or with my friends, sometimes if I meet somebody new, I'll kind of ask them, so what's your story? I'm always interested in, and a long time ago, one of my friends I met, she was always interested in, you know, the question when she met somebody or just looked at somebody when she was crowd watching, you know, what's their story? And so I'm always interested in people's stories and how they got there and what do they want to do. And so whenever I talk to people, whether it's on the phone, as I've done several times this morning, or in person, I'm always asking and trying to figure out what they want to do and helping them along. So sometimes I try to help too much, but I never think it's too much.
Are you a married man, Michael?
I am not. I'm divorced.
Okay. As a married man, I will tell you, I get that. Sometimes I try to help too much. As Greg is like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it involves, as in marriage, it involves a lot of listening, and so I try to ask a lot of questions, because sometimes people don't know what questions to ask themselves, and so that helps as a guide to when I help them talk about their educational and career goals.
Yeah.
And so the more questions I ask, I really have to be disciplined and sit back and listen, and that's not always easy.
Yeah. And Michael, that's a important perspective. In my role, I ask a lot of questions to figure out what someone's trying to do in business as well as in career transition. And just the other day, I'm interviewing this guy to write his LinkedIn profile. And I'm looking at something in his history, and I said, explain what this means and what was the thing that you did there that created the greatest value. And I hear this often. He used these words that I hear often. Oh my God, I've never been asked that. And that's important, to think about what question can you ask somebody to really get them to share and open up, and so that you can find ways to help them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I talk to people all the time that undervalue themselves, undervalue their knowledge and their skills, and it's up to me to help bring that out, and I enjoy doing that, and so.
Yeah, good stuff. We're at 36,000 people on this webinar right now. If I go over to Facebook, we have approximately, oh my golly, it's almost 1,000 on Facebook. So this is good stuff. So this is so let's talk a little bit, Michael. Big picture. This company you work for. Tell us about the company that you work for in a big picture.
Sure. Well, the goals of community college is to educate its citizens, and we have, that's through long-term programs or short-term programs, and
I want you to tell them the name of the company too.
The name of the company is Forsyth Technical Community College, and it's headquartered in Winston-Salem, and it serves Forsyth County and Stokes County in North Carolina. And again, we have numerous associate degree programs, certificate and diploma programs on the credit side of our college. And then we have a number of shorter term trainings on the non-credit side of our college. Those shorter term trainings may include administrative assistant all the way to welding. And then our credit side includes everything from associate degree in college transfer to a university, to concentrations in accounting, to diesel mechanics, to IT and cyber security. So we run the gamut of our training.
Yeah. So we're knee deep, maybe a little bit beyond knee deep, in a pandemic. How's Forsyth Technical Community College, to me, Forsyth Tech, how's Forsyth Tech serving their students today?
Well, we have part of our health technologies is we have associate degree in nursing, and we have practical nursing, I believe. And we also train certified nursing assistants. As you can imagine, if you didn't know this, nursing assistants are plentiful in these assisted living facilities and nursing homes, in addition to regular nurses. And so we are training, and they are much needed in these facilities. As you can imagine, there's a lot of angst and people dying in these facilities right now because of the pandemic. So yeah, we're right on the edge of training those people to continue good work.
So for the credit courses that Forsyth Tech serves, what classes are open? What classes are ongoing? And I'm assuming they're doing it virtually.
Yeah, we just started in June, for example. We start four new certified nursing assistant classes, and we're calling them hybrid. They're starting online, and then as things get safer and we move into more of a full throttle in July, then they will, in August, they will move to some in-person and clinical practicing for those classes. But yeah, we're starting a lot of classes. In fact, June, we started several classes. We started an HVAC class June 1st and some other classes right in June here. So we're ramping back up again, having some social distancing, and we're taking all the precautions necessary.
Yeah, good. So now on the non-credit side, or what I refer to as the workforce dev or the human resource development HRD side, what classes are you, does the nursing classes fall under that, or what classes do fall under there that you are delivering today?
Well, so the Certified Nursing Assistant, or CNA, is actually a non-credit class. Okay. It is a prerequisite to get into the formal nursing program on our main campus, which is the credit side of things. But yeah, so we're starting nursing assistant classes in June here. Like I said yesterday, we may have started a welding class. I know we started a HVAC class. So we're starting now. We've restarted things in person and online.
Okay, yeah. So now there's a class that a good friend of mine teaches for you guys, a dude by the name of Don Witt. Is that class ongoing or not? Not yet.
Not yet. I'm hopeful, keeping my fingers crossed, that can resume in July, but I haven't heard the final word on that.
Okay. Yeah. So well, good. So tell me a little bit about, how should a job seeker or somebody who's unemployed or someone who's thinking about career transition, how should they look at Forsyth Tech, and what can Forsyth Tech do for them in their journey?
Well, when I talk to people, I often tell them to do a little dreaming first, and to really decide and think about what their passion is. Because the ideal in life is to do something you love and get paid for it. It's hard to achieve, but it's worth dreaming about, and whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal. So I think thinking about what you want to do, whether it's a job or a career, is first and foremost. You got to think about what you like to do and maybe what you're good at and like to do. And then you look at, okay, what training or education do I need to accomplish that career or job goal? And then that's where Forsyth Tech can come in maybe. So we may have classes that can give you that training. And again, it may not be overnight, but it'll give you that training to accomplish those goals. Even that career goal, you may want to become president of a college. Well, that's going to take some steps. I often refer to, if you want to become a doctor, okay, that's your career goal. Well, okay, you have to, if Forsyth Tech is in the mix, then you have to go to Forsyth Tech and a college transfer. Then you have to transfer or go to a 4-year university, get a bachelor's degree. Then there's medical school. So then once you have your career goal, then you can kind of lay out that education and training path to achieve that career or job goal. So that's how I start things with people.
Absolutely. And by the way, I shared in the notes in the chat a video that I created a few years ago that I say is dog ugly because it's me on the video. And but the video is called Dream Out Loud, Share Your Dreams of Others. I mean, just like you said, Michael, if you're not dreaming and thinking of these ideas and thinking a little differently, a little bizarre, a little freaky, then you're never going to achieve something different that may really excite you beyond that. So it's really important to do that. I'm with you.
I had an individual come. He actually came in here. We kept about 10 feet apart, and he's working 2 jobs now. One with a local manufacturing, and then he's working at Hardee's actually. And he's a father of 4, single parent. And he's making $11 an hour, and he's looking, how can he change his life? Yeah. So I kept asking some questions, and because he wants to dream. He wants to be a great father and take care of his children and beyond. And so what we talked about, as I asked questions, well, he has some community college classes. So the first thing I said, well, if he was able to finish his associate's degree, that could step him up in the kind of job and the income he can get. So we're looking at income. And so he's going to get his transcripts and see how much longer he has to get his associate's degree. In the meantime, I may take a look at his resume, and he's going to really look at some of the jobs that he wants to get that career goal and that next job goal in line. So it's a work in progress, but we're going to keep in contact, and so that's what I deal with every day.
Yep, that's good. I talked to a young man this morning, and he said, "Tay, I have a bachelor's degree, and I'm trying to break into a bachelor's degree in finance." He says, "I'm really trying to get into, the finance, a specific area of finance. Can't remember what it was, and it may have something to do with treasury." And he said, "Do you think it would make sense for me to go and take more courses?" And I said, I believe that most business owners and leaders and HR professionals who look at you and discover that you're learning on a regular basis, that you keep growing, you're positioning yourself better than the person who got the bachelor's degree in 1900, never you freaking mind, and didn't do any continued education. So absolutely, the community college. I took recently, about a year ago, I took an English course through Forsyth Tech, and because I didn't know how to write, and I didn't know how to use the English language appropriately in written words. I'm being a little facetious, but I learned some ideas that made me a better writer. And so I'm with you. Every day we should be looking at how can our community colleges help us as people in our jobs and in our career journeys. Greg, do you have any thoughts about this whole idea of how community colleges can help us grow? Your perspective?
I think that's a really good question and a point that Michael has been making, that the community college system across North Carolina and in the state you may reside has campuses, as you mentioned, for credit and not for credit courses that allow you to broaden and keep moving your education. I was able to utilize the community college where I live in North Carolina and brushed up on some speaking skills. So I probably need to go back and brush up again, but it was really nice to have that community resource, and bring that back together.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question from Lisa. And Michael, we're gonna keep going this conversation regarding the community college and how they can help. But let's take a question from Lisa, and it's a little more specific to her, but I think it's maybe something that you and I and Greg can help her with. And so she wants to find an opportunity to talk to a business owner or business leader about outside sales. How to get a job in outside sales, maybe relevant to staffing, maybe relevant to advertising or something around that space. But today outside sales is not outside so much. So what do you have any thoughts, either one of you, about, so we could share with Lisa on how to get into the right conversation regarding outside sales?
I'll take start with that. One of the most challenging things to do is to network. And, being part of this webinar, being on LinkedIn is a great way to ask a lot of people questions. So I would start, and Teddy, you can go further with this with LinkedIn and try to, without a regular conversation, you can do some LinkedIn networking and getting some responses from that. But I tell people when they're searching for job or looking to go into a new field, whether it's outside sales, ask everyone they know and even don't know about what they do for a living, and see if you can network and find out. Your cousin may be in outside sales, and so ask everybody what they do and what they do on a daily basis, and you may get some insight on things just on your network of friends and family. I mean, call a long lost relative if you have to, but try to network in that way. And because it is hard to get in front of people these days. It's not fun. You just can't go up to a business and say, "Can I talk to your salespeople?" Just have a few questions to ask. Now, salespeople will talk to anybody, but that's my first suggestion. Yeah.
Greg, any perspectives?
You know, I think part of that goes back to the earlier conversation you have of dreaming out loud to figure what aspect of sales do you want to be with, and what Michael was talking about, researching the companies. I know there are companies out there that have some pretty stellar reputations with sales and sales training, and some that are working to develop them to be better. So it's to have that dreaming process that says, I've come up with a list of 5 or 7 companies that says, I want to check these out and learn more about it. That's an important step.
Hey, I got some I got some magic that I don't have, but the participants do have. And so in regards to Lisa's question, and by the way, this is Lisa Allen who asked this question. She's on the participant, the attendee list or participant list. If anybody on here knows an organization that uses outside sales, please use the chat box and let us know who you are. And I think you can engage directly with the other attendees, but if you, I believe you can. But if anybody on here knows an organization that uses outside sales, it might be relevant to staffing, might be relevant to advertising, or in those areas, let Lisa know. And it'll be a great opportunity for 2 people to connect and have a conversation. How's that? The power of webinar or virtual meeting networking. I hope it can happen. I really do. We'll take one more question and we'll go back to Michael. Ruth, who's a good friend of mine out there, she says, that there are questions that the COVID-19 is impacting the hiring process. She put it as a question. I think it's more of a statement. And she goes, how is it? How is COVID-19 impacting the hiring process? And then, how do community colleges help prepare us to engage with companies during and after this pandemic? Michael, any thoughts?
I'm helping people over the phone. I just completed a resume for one of my students today. Usually I work with resumes with people sitting beside me. And because I don't do resume for them, I do it with them. And that's part of our free services at our Educational Career Center here at Forsyth Tech. And so I got feedback. We emailed back and forth, and I completed a resume today. And I wish I remembered the quote, but she says it's very easy and very professional was her comment back to me. And I sent it to her today. And but we emailed back and forth because I had lots of questions on her resume. So we can do this online. We can do it over the phone. I advise over the phone, just like. And again, if you keep your social distance, you can keep in here. Forsyth Tech is open. So now, as far as hiring, if I just go on to that real quick, things are starting to open up. So don't assume a company is still closed. Check on that. So if you're applying online or want to see where that company is and check them out, don't assume it's closed. They may have their front receptionist open. So.
Greg, thought?
I have a question for Michael. We have seen with the COVID-19, a lot of colleges and universities transition to online and virtual like we're doing today. Can you share of any of the progress they're making on that?
Yes, we've had transition as well. Forsyth Tech, on the curriculum side of things, is all of our summer semester is online. Now, us being a community college, we have, and I don't know the details of this, even on the curriculum side, we have hands-on, the diesel mechanic, and even the HVAC and welding is on the credit side as well as non-credit. Well, you can't teach how to repair a diesel engine without being in a diesel engine. So I don't know how they've transitioned to that. Maybe they're not teaching that for the summer, but we, just as like the UNC system, will be opening up. In July, we will have most of our staff back, and in August, when our fall semester returns, we have contingencies, but we plan to be back in person. Social distancing and all those requirements. If we get positive cases, we have a plan for that. So, yeah, we are planning to be open for our fall semester starting in August.
Michael, am I wrong about this? That Forsyth Tech is teaching truck driving through joysticks?
I do not know. I
I
thought we were
I
doing
want you to be blunt with me.
through Joyce. All right, now I got it. I thought that was a program. No, we are not. That's a foolish question.
Yeah, so we're not going to have a transition from fully staffed truck driving to autonomous, and in the middle have joystick driving. I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But
right.
then again, be careful, because you never know where it might go. So, but yeah, I was totally being satirical with that question, Michael. So
Yeah, we're doing the best we're doing the best we can to transition and be safe at the same time. We have a job to do, and education and jobs cannot stop. We cannot stop because there's a lot of people out of work right now, and usually out of people work turn to community colleges for help in getting back to work. So we, as safely as we can do it, we got to be there for people.
So Michael, share with us a little bit about the private scholarship funds that are available through Forsyth Tech.
So we have a number of scholarships, and they each have different parameters, but we get monies from Bank of America, State Employees Credit Union, Forsyth Tech Foundation, and Golden Leaf, and Project Skill Up. Those are the main private funds we get. And they, again, have different parameters, and they fund different things, but they all are concentrated on the non-credit side of the college. Just because the credit side, and when you're associate degree programs, they have access to the federal financial aid, the FAFSA, and different kinds of scholarships. So we try to concentrate on the non-credit short-term training types. But yeah, we're ramping up. In fact, I just did a voucher for an individual today. And so we're planning for scholarships. Now, those scholarship eligible courses we have listed are part of our Careers Now program. We've identified a list of courses that we call Careers Now, and they're eligible for scholarships. And then the individual has to meet the guidelines as well, such as living in Forsyth or Stokes County, at least having their high school diploma or equivalency and such. And so, yeah, we have a great program to help people out.
That's under the Careers Now courses, you said?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Good. So, how about this perspective? So you've talked a little bit about some of the free services that are available through the educational center. And I know you're on, I call it Bolton campus, but I think you call it the West campus.
Yeah, the West campus on Bolton Street.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about a bigger picture of what free services are available through your group.
Well, I'm in the Educational Career Center here at West Campus, and just like I've talked about, we do career and educational advising. We help people with resumes. We help people with job searches, and we give out scholarships. And so normally we have two public computers here. I'm always I don't have a lot of stuff to clean them, but I think this area is cleaned every night. So they can access those if they want, and then we have sanitizer to do your hands. So, but yeah, so we can help that now. So I am in the office. This is my third or fourth week back, and so you can come in here or call on the phone, email me, all that stuff.
So who else is on the team besides you, or are you the team?
Well, unfortunately, my two co-workers, Juanita Murphy and Tanya Long, have moved to main campus now. They're doing curriculum stuff. So I'm the only one as part of the Educational Career Center now.
Today. Yeah.
Today.
I get it. So, cool. So Greg, thoughts, questions?
Not right now. Thank you.
So again, it's a half hour moment. We're at about 34,000 people on the virtual session. I'm Teddy Burris. Typically, we have Mr. Randy Wooden with us. Oh my golly, I just put Mr. in front of that. I showed respect. But Randy is off playing in the sand, and so the pinch hitter is Mr. Greg Jones with us today. And our guest is Michael Glontz from Forsyth Tech Community College, the Educational Career Center, and the conversations about how can community colleges help job seekers in their journey, in their quest. And so again, use the Q&A, use the chat, ask us any questions. We want to help you by answering questions and giving you insights that can be useful to you. So Michael, what have I missed so far in regards to what you can do and what Forsyth Tech can do?
Well, you know, I like to tell what I do through stories, like how I've talked to people. And, you know, I've had a person on the phone this morning and that was wanting to, she's a CNA right now, but she wanted to get into the medical office, more of the office work as opposed to CNA. And so we talked about what she was going back and forth between administrative assistant and the certified electronic health records. And so we walked through it. So one of my suggestions was, okay, now go ahead, do a job search, get on Indeed or get on ZipRecruiter or whatever you use, and look at what the job descriptions say. And I think that's a good, I tell people that a lot as they're dreaming. I think that's part of the dreaming and the determining what you want to do. Look at real live job postings right now. Put in some broad words or specific words, and that's going to help you figure out what you might want to do. And it's going to guide you on your educational needs, and training needs. So if you want to become a brain surgeon or a scientist, this is the educational requirements, then you know you need to do that. So it sets a kind of a guideline for you, and it tells you if you might like it or not. So you may not like what you think you might like, and so I often tell people to narrow down what they want to do by looking at live job postings, and a lot of times it gives them good ideas on things they never thought about before. Because, you know, once you're on the computer, you kind of put in a lot of different words. Your mind wanders there. You put on a few different words, and sometimes you come across things that you didn't know you'd come across.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You can discover if you really want to do it or not. A few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I had an inkling for an idea that was I needed more financial, mathematical skills. And so I said, well, if I'm going to go play in that space, let me first find out, you know, whether or not I like playing with numbers. So I took a macroeconomics course. Now, no disrespect to those who get it and love it, but good God Almighty, it's like, no way, this stuff, I'm not interested in this. So it took me about 6 weeks. I went through the whole course, but in about 6 weeks, and I passed the course, but in about 6 weeks of this course, I said, no, there's not a chance in the world that Teddy Burris is going to get involved in any kind of macroeconomics writing. I had to be a writer. And so I, again, use the community courses to not only to grow and learn, but to experiment. Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, this single dad single dad of 4 I was talking about yesterday, met with yesterday, I asked him what he likes to do. What's his passion? And you know what he said? He loves numbers. He loves math. You don't hear that come out of people's mouths very often.
Yeah.
And he's doing manufacturing now and working at Hardee's. And so he also likes inventory and logistics kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, Forsyth Tech doesn't have everything, but Forsyth Tech does have a associate degree in accounting, and then we have even global logistics. And remember, he's halfway or more than halfway to his associate's degree. We think we're going to get his transcript evaluated. So we started dreaming a little bit. What if he likes numbers? Wow, that's a valuable passion or like and to have. And if he's good at it, even better. If he just did, then just like IT, you need the certifications behind you. You need that training on that thing on the wall that says you have this certification.
Yeah.
Then he can improve from $11 an hour to who knows what.
Greg, thought?
I have a question that ties in with, we got a question from Suzanne Ross. And part of my question was, is there a residency requirement for North Carolina community colleges, or can you enroll in a community college, or is it geographically specific to you?
No, you can. We have plenty of people out of this county or out of Stokes or Forsyth that come to Forsyth Tech. So, or Virginia, our electrical lineman program, our flagship program here. People come from all over many states to take our electrical lineman program because there's such good job prospects and great training. Now, when you're trying to get funding or localized funding, sometimes you bump into those parameters. For example, our non-credit, these scholarships I talked about from Bank of America, State Employees Credit Union, such. State Employees Credit Union, I believe, requires you to be resident in North Carolina. The Bank of America parameters is you have to live in Forsyth or Stokes County. So sometimes where you live does hold you up on some scholarships, and some others don't. I'm not sure about the federal funding for the FAFSA, but I know that for our private scholarships there are some parameters.
Now, and also in regard to Suzanne's question, I'm going to answer it the way Teddy would answer it. Okay, Forsyth Tech Community College rocks. Now, there is also other community colleges in North Carolina. There are others. And yes, Suzanne, there's one called Guilford Tech Community College, and there's one that Greg knows. Where are you in Statesville? That's not Catawba. Mitchell Community College. Yep. So there's almost a community college in every county. At least there's one that represents every county. Forsyth represents Stokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
there's 58 community colleges in North Carolina,
which covers all 100 counties. So and Guilford Tech has similar, but not exactly the same kinds of programs. Fair to say, Michael?
Oh, most definitely. They're a great community college, and I only joke with my disbelief in you mentioning that, but no, they're a great community college and have a lot of the similar programs and fantastic programs, most definitely.
And I have friends at Guilford Tech, not quite as fun as Michael.
Nobody will hear you.
Yeah, so good stuff, good stuff. So I want to tell that question to go away, but I can't get. Oh, Michael's took control of it. That's why. So, what else, Greg? Greg or Michael. What else did we not talk about in regards to community colleges and job seekers that would be important for us to know about?
So I do have a question. Hopefully, Michael should be able to talk more about. In education, we hear a lot about traditional students and non-traditional students. Would you be able to tell us the difference between the two, and then how the community college works to help both those populations?
Well, traditional students, as I understand it, is the ones that come to class every day and during a regular business day, for example, during between 8 to 5. And so the non-traditional, which is becoming more traditional, is what Forsyth Tech caters to, are the people that maybe have a few kids, that maybe have to take night classes. They work during the day or they work during the night. They need some online. And then some in person or all online. And so I think this COVID-19, believe it or not, the silver lining in it, if you can find one, is that Forsyth Tech, along with other community colleges and universities, have really learned to deliver, bad and good, there's bad examples and good examples, have really learned to deliver education online. And now then you go to, okay, does everybody have access? And the K through 12 have really struggled, and that's been a challenge for them, but boy, has that opened their eyes. And how do you deliver this online? So I think for community colleges, it's opened up our eyes, and how can we do this in the future? Just like restaurants. I've heard of a lot of restaurants starting to transition, but restaurants, they've had the restaurants that have never done to-go or never done delivery are now all of a sudden had to do delivery just to stay afloat. Well, do you think they're going to stop that revenue stream when they open back up for in-person? No way. They're going to keep that going. So I think Forsyth Tech will keep and extend and learn from how we just all of a sudden had to roll out some online learning, which weren't online learning in traditional before. I think we're going to learn to do that in the future even more. And I think that's going to open up education to even more people. The challenge, and here's the challenge, because Forsyth Tech is all about learning styles, and we need to continue to do a better job at looking at students' learning styles. How do you, for example, how do you learn, one learning style is you may not learn well online. Like, how do you learn to use a computer on a computer? I mean, if online, you don't even know how to get on the internet. Well, so that's a challenge, and we haven't quite conquered that challenge yet. Other than pushing it right on your TV, and you know, so there's some challenges in all that. How do you teach things online? But I think this is really an opportunity for us to really figure out how to put things online. Even application, for me, just a simple, my scholarship applications. Well, they're not fillable. I'll admit it right now. They're not fillable online. We're used to having people come in and fill out scholarship applications. Well, there's plenty of resources, and I just got to get it done, how to make those online fillable, from, you know, PDF fillables to Microsoft Forms. And so that's an easy fix. I just got to do it. And so it's really going to help us change the approach to education to traditional and non-traditional students alike.
You know, it's interesting, Michael, Greg, that in this conversation that, you know, we all say we have all the technology in the world, we have all the tools in the world, there's so much that we can do. But yet we as a society, and by the way, Burris Consulting Incorporated in downtown Davie County, North Carolina, struggles with the same thing that Forsyth Tech struggles with, that I don't necessarily create all the tools and implement all the solutions that I could implement until I get pressed. And the moment a pandemic, the moment chaos forces us to do something, often we sit back and go, oh my God, that's cool. You know, and there's a quote that somebody said recently, and I'll have to get the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, if we don't learn to grow and do things different and better during chaos, we will always be holding ourselves back. So, yeah, Michael, create that forum, dude.
That's right. I mean, it's a lot of things we need to do, and we can't do it the same way. So this is a good time, and to really take a step back as a professional, or even you know, I say that to people, certainly when we were really shuttered at home. In fact, I did a few videos I just posted on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, talking about, you know, this is, if you're at home, that does not mean you can't improve yourself every day. Get ready for when things open back up. And I talked about, you know, do something positive every day. Learn something on the computer that you didn't know before. Exercise. Get healthy. Get fit. That's going to help your mind. Stretch your mind. Read more. There's lots of things you can do while you're stuck at home, even if you're still stuck at home, or if you're just out of a job. Don't stop learning every day. Like you said, you started learning things that you hadn't learned before, and I think this is an opportunity. If you're out of a job, don't stop learning. Call us. Get in touch with you. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with Greg. Don't stop trying. And I definitely don't give up. Don't do this alone either. There's plenty of people that can help you out, and you don't have to be alone in doing this. And I think that's what we're all about here.
You know, another thought that came to mind too is that, excuse me, you know, there are many of us who have an ongoing job. We have our ongoing, you know, in my case, an ongoing business, and ongoing people who have ongoing jobs often think, hey, things are good, man. I got a job. I'm doing good. But talk a little bit about the importance of not getting satisfied, not getting, in this comfort zone of I've got all I need right now. I don't need to learn anything new.
Well, as we know from COVID-19, if you were complacent and thought things would never change and everything was okay, then you were caught by surprise. I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, and I know if you weren't prepared and you lost your job and you hadn't have an emergency fund, you did not have a fully funded emergency fund or some emergency fund, you were struggling, and you may still be struggling. And so it helps to keep, and I've heard this many times, probably from you. You always keep a current resume, update your resume, and that's why you said keep learning things, keep putting them on your resume, because people who are hiring love to see continued learning and recent learning. Like you said, when I got my bachelor's degree a long time ago, that's one thing, but I need some recent learnings on there that says I'm expanding my mind. I'm not just stagnant in my learning, and I think people like that. When you interview people, what's the latest book you read? Well, back in 1995, I read. That's not a good answer. There you go. So it's important that now I lost my train of thought on the Book of Joy. But
well, you got to keep learning, and one way to learn, if I'm hearing you right, Michael, is just read and listen to the words of others.
Yeah. And turn off the news sometimes.
All the time. Yeah.
and really concentrate on yourself and improving yourself. And and get that resume together. Practice your interview. You can practice in the mirror. Practice to your spouse. Practice to your children. They'll laugh at you, but keep practicing, because practice makes perfect. And I know from experience, not practicing interviews, I've tanked interviews before because I haven't practiced. Yeah. And so I've made those mistakes.
Greg, your thought, perspective?
I got two thoughts for you. Number one, if you ever want a good laugh, have your kid interview you. You put them in the position of your boss, and you'll watch those little minds turn going, so tell me about last quarter. And you're like, whoa, hey, this is a practice. You're grilling me. The second part, it always is important to keep learning. And I toot the horn here. My stepfather, he's going to turn 70 this year, just completed his bachelor's degree. And it's something he had a goal he wanted to do, and said, hey, you always got to keep learning. You always got to do that. So whether you're a traditional student coming right out of high school in the community college or college or university, or you're a working adult who's saying, I think it's time, always listen to that. It's always a great investment you can in education, because it invests in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife went back and got her bachelor's of early childhood education. I think she was 50, which was just not too long ago that she did that. And absolutely, I'm a huge fan of keep learning. I'm a huge, for me, but there's lots of, I read, I do podcasts, I watch YouTube videos, I listen to TED Talks. I think it's important that you find the best way for you to, again, my words, consume the words or ideas of others, however you want to, and be willing to stop and take a course and challenge yourself. And by the way, just an FYI, I love my community college courses. There's lots of other courses on there that, that are very simple, easy ways to learn. You can go to Udemy, Skillshare, Illumio, Teachable, LinkedIn. Coursera. There's lots of stuff out there for you to learn. And, I love my community college guys, and I absolutely love the opportunities that we have globally to learn. So
if you are struggling with typing right now, I tell people to go to typing.com and take those lessons. It's free. It measures your accuracy and speed. Just typing.com. And you can improve yourself sitting at home. If you want to get an office job and you don't type well, just you got to practice. And it walks you through the beginning, intermediate, and advanced. It's a fantastic website. I tell people to go through all the time.
Yeah. Michael, close us out on this conversation about Forsyth Tech, and appreciate your sharing with us. Close us out on this conversation.
Well, Forsyth Tech is it really never closed. We closed the in-person visitations of our campuses, but we're opening back up, and we are now registering people. We've been registering people for the fall semester in the curriculum side. We continue to register people for the non-credit side and the short-term trainings. We have a slew of trainings scheduled for the fall, even June, July, and August right now on the short-term training side. And this is the time to do it. So get registered now and get that resume up and going now. Inundate me with a resume request. I'll be happy to work with that, because that's some of the keys to getting that next job, whether you need training or not. I don't let my bosses hear, but sometimes I talk to people who think they need training, and they don't. They just need to tidy up their resume. They already have the knowledge and the skills and the certifications to get where they want to go. And I said, you don't need Forsyth Tech training. So it's not all about more training sometimes. Sometimes you just need to know how to present yourself and search for that job. And that's where we can help. We can help do that. Do not do that alone, or you don't have to do it alone. Get help in doing that. And so because I'm a great proofer. I can proof that. I found, I think, 25 errors on one of my parents' form Christmas letters one year, but they'd already sent it out. Well, I wasn't a very liked child at that point when I pointed out the 25 errors. But you know what? You don't proof your own work as well as you proof others.
Yeah.
And so it's important to get somebody else to look at your resume, whether it's perfect or not. You think it's perfect or not, get somebody else to proof it. One real quick story with that. I sent out an email to about 1,500 people yesterday who had been in and around Forsyth Tech and advising. We've advised in some way, shape, or form. And I got a response back from one of my students I've dealt with in the past. He's taken basic construction, he's taken facility maintenance, and he's taken electrical troubleshooting and installation successfully. In 2019, he did that. He emailed me this morning. He hasn't found a job yet, and he wants to take another course. I'm like, hold on a second. Let's look at your resume. There's a reason you're not getting jobs, and he's saying they require all 2 years experience. Well, let's eliminate some possibilities. So I said, send me your resume. I have to look at your resume, and then we can go devise a plan from there. I'm not sure he needs more training. I mean, that's a lot of training in 1 year not to have a job. And so let Forsyth Tech help you. We have a career center on main campus. We have a educational career center on west campus. Let us help evaluate what skills in the education and your career goals right now to help guide you for the future. Because there's a place for everyone in this community. There's a place for everyone in this world. I truly believe that. Whatever level of job you want, whatever level of job you need, there's a way to get there. And Forsyth Tech is a great way to help you get there, whether it's training or advice. We can help you.
Yeah. Michael, I need a phone number. What's the main number? If I want to tell someone to contact Forsyth Tech to start their journey, should I send them to the website, Forsyth. I can't remember Forsyth's website.
Yeah, forsythtech.edu.
.edu. Is there a main number that people can call?
You know, I consider myself kind of the welcome center.
Okay.
To and I can get you where you need to go anywhere on campus. So I'm going to give out my number. You can go through a little thing. You can go to a phone tree and everything like that. But my number is 336-757-3701. You know, I get lonely here without many people here. So call me. You can email me at mglontz@forsythtech.edu. That's mglontz@forsythtech.edu, and let me help guide you on where to go. I don't mind being the point person to a lot of people, because now our main customer service center here at Forsyth Tech is 734-7023.
Repeat that.
The main customer service center here is 734-7023.
Got it.
and that's area code 336.
Yep.
Our main number on our main campus is, I believe, 734-0371. I hope I have that right. 734-0371, I believe.
Got it. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. So again, I just want to, I tell people day in and day out, we have to be accessible to be able to be successful and to help others. So thanks for sharing that with us, Michael. And again, thank you very much for showing up and participating in this conversation. We appreciate you, buddy. So,
hey, enjoyed it.
Greg, Randy and I usually offer hugely valuable nuggets after these conversations. Do you have a hugely valuable nugget?
I do. We often spend time thinking about, is now the time to do something? Is now the time to learn a new skill? And that answer is yes. It is very, very important to keep moving forward. Reach out to your North Carolina community colleges. They have campuses that are in professional development, personal development, even continuing education that can have skills there to meet your needs. So it's a great resource to have.
Yeah, good. So
hey,
I have a
Teddy,
yeah,
one
Greg,
correction. Our main number is 723-0371.
723.
Instead of 734, so it's 723-0371 is the main number.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Sorry about that.
So that's all good. So, hey, I'm going to use the next few minutes just to share with you something that's changed on LinkedIn, that those of you who want to build a resume quickly and easily, show you how you can do it. I'm going to share my screen. Here's LinkedIn. You should be seeing my LinkedIn profile right now, which is absolutely a glorious profile. But look here, under more, I believe that you all have this. If you don't, please let me know. It's still rolling out, but I'm pretty sure it rolled out quickly. But under more, build a resume. And this feature, a new feature on LinkedIn, has the ability for you to build a new resume. And you can see I built one here. And if I click on this button here, I can edit it. And this is the resume that the application pulls from your LinkedIn profile. So I can edit this up here. I can change my email address or my phone number, get rid of my LinkedIn profile if I want to. I can edit this text if I want to, which by default got pulled from your LinkedIn profile. I can go down here and I can edit my experience section. Now, I have not played with all of this yet, but it is pulling this content from your LinkedIn profile. I can change the 10 skills that I want to show here. I can get rid of one. I can add a new one, for cat wrestling. If I want to put that in there and save that. If I want to, I won't. I can add honors and awards. So it's a very simple resume. And then once I got it, and it pulls from your profile, and once I have it looking the way I want, I can download it as a PDF. And then I can use that wherever I want to use that. And anyway, it's a new feature built into LinkedIn. It's worth knowing about. However, the best use of that will be if your LinkedIn profile is highly focused on who you are and what you do / want to do. If this says it, then that create a resume process will build the perfect resume for you. All right, it's 12:59. We do this every Wednesday from noon to 1. Alexis asked, where can I see the prior videos? Alexis, you should get a follow-up email from Zoom, a post-webinar email, and should have the link in there for the YouTube channel and the playlist for the Teddy Burris and Randy Wooden lunch conversation. If you don't get that, Alexis, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'll make sure you get it. Wanda, good to see you out there. Again, Michael, appreciate you, buddy. Greg, thank you for being a pinch hitter. Thank you for being
no problem.
A stellar pinch hitter. I'd like anybody that's on this call that knows Randy Wooden to let him know that Teddy brought a great pinch hitter. And we will see everybody next week.